Welcome, everybody. Dr. Adam from Heroes to Hives here with you today. And today we are launching a brand new educational offering, Dr. Adam's Beekeeping Book Reviews. In these short videos that we'll be posting monthly, I'll be reviewing a beekeeping book that I have read and give you my take on it. I'll be reviewing a lot of the books that I use in the courses that I teach, including ones that I recommend for our Heroes to Hives course, giving an evaluation on those books, what I like, what I don't like, what the price is, and if I think you should have it. But this will be a fun opportunity for me to share the decades of reading that I've been doing in the beekeeping industry and beekeeping books of all different types, not just modern books, but also older books as well. I like to basically just move from book to book when it comes to beekeeping, and so I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on those books that I read with you. And today I'm going to be starting this whole series off with one of my favorite beekeeping books that I recommend for students that take courses that I teach. This is a book that I have been, familiar with for a very long time. It is in its third edition now, and is actually written by one of the co-authors of this is written by a person I know very well, Larry Connor, and the other author being Dewey Caron. And the book that I'm going to be reviewing today is Honeybee Biology and Beekeeping by Dewey Caron and Larry Connor. This is the second edition right here, and this is a book that's getting more expensive in the second edition now that it is no longer in print. But they just came out with a brand new edition, the third edition that you see right here, which you can find for about $90 from most of your beekeeping supply companies and places like Amazon as well. So this is a book that I have been recommending for better part of a decade to the students that take my courses. And the reason that I really like this book is because it is a true textbook. It's something that I would use if I were to teach a college level beekeeping course. And the thing that I really like about that is it's comprehensive, but it's really approachable for anybody, no matter what your beekeeping level is. So who this book is really for, it's really for anybody that is into beekeeping or getting interested in beekeeping. Now, it is a very large book, and the third edition here has an additional 112 pages over the second edition, which was already a very robust book. So this book comes in at 480 pages total. Now, it's not something I think you're going to sit down and just read cover to cover. Now, some of us may just read it, day to day, take a chapter here, chapter there. I think that's probably the best way to digest a book like this. But the big thing that I want to impress upon you is this is one of the books that you're going to have on your reference shelf. When you come into questions, maybe as a new beekeeper, and you have a little bit of a question about, well, what is that? Or maybe I'm not familiar with this. This is a great book to pick up because it's a textbook. It's divided up into sections that are very, very digestible, and a great index that you can go through to find those things that you're actually looking for. Now, a few things that I've always really liked about this book. One of the big things that I really like about this book, especially from an educator perspective, and if you're a beekeeping educator, this is one of the best things about this book, is at the end of each of these chapters, that in both the second and third edition, you're going to have discussion questions, and you're going to have an exercises section where they recommend exercises that you can do as an educator or as someone who's just learning about bees to incorporate and kind of, really nail down the knowledge that's been gained in the chapter that you've just gone through. So every chapter has that at the end of it in both of these editions. But the really cool thing about the third edition that the second edition didn't have, that I really liked when I went through this book, was at the end of each chapter now, there is a key terms section as well. So if you're an educator that is looking to, create tests to basically test the knowledge outcomes of your students, having a list of key terms that are associated with that chapter makes that really easy to be able to develop those questions. And it also gives your students a place to study from. The other thing that's really cool about this book that I really liked at the beginnings of the chapters when they redid this for the third edition was now there are concept sections at the beginning of each chapter, which kind of give you a broad understanding of what are the concepts that you're going to be undertaking as far as learning in each chapter. And I think that's a really nice way to kind of set up students when they get into a chapter. They know what they're going to be expecting as far as what they're going to learn in that chapter. From a referral standpoint, too, that's also kind of nice reference tool, too. If you're just kind of flipping through looking at chapters, you can get a really good idea of what you're going to be going through in each chapter. The last thing that I'm going to really hit on here as far as things that I really liked about the third edition from the second edition. Now, overall, I just love this book. I think it's a very well-written book. It's very easy to read through, no matter what your level at. But the one thing that I really did like, especially from my, and I'll say this is a little selfish for myself, is now at the end of each chapter there's a references section, which makes it much easier to refer to whatever the cited knowledge is in that particular chapter. It's just a real quick reference. You don't have to kind of dig in the index and the bibliography to be able to find, who wrote this, something that was mentioned in this chapter. It's right there at the end of the chapter for you in a references section. So a really nice way to be able to make those references easier to find with this new edition that they've written. So overall, what would I give this book here in as far as my score for as far as how good a book this is for you as a beekeeper? I think this is a book that every beekeeper should have on their shelf as a reference. It is a great textbook. I'm going to give this my highest score, which is 4 stars for this particular book, because I think it is probably, in my opinion, one of the best beekeeping textbooks out there. It's, again, very approachable for everybody. The price is very reasonable for a textbook. I know it's $90 is what you're kind of seeing for it right now, but that's a pretty reasonable price for a textbook, especially one that's almost 500 pages. In addition, it has a whole lot of great photos in there and a lot of great reference material. Just a really good book overall. So if you're interested in a textbook and something to really kind of get yourself started, this is what I would recommend. And if you're a student that's taking the Heroes to Hives course or thinking about taking the Heroes to Hives course, this is the book that you want to have to help you get through that course. We're going to discuss a lot of stuff in the Heroes to Hives course, but if you're in any of my classes and courses, including Heroes to Hives, this is a book you need to have. This is a great book to have as a reference for your beekeeping education. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this first of our beekeeping book reviews, and we'll look forward to having you here next month for our next one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these beekeeping reviews that we'll be doing here. Next month, I'm going to be reviewing a little more of an advanced book, something that's a little on the advanced side. I want to kind of hit both sides, kind of experienced and new beekeepers. The next book I'm going to be reading is from Lars Chitka, and that is The Mind of a Bee. And I finished this book last month. And let me tell you, if you're interested in the neuroscience of honeybees, this is a book you do not want to miss. So I'll look forward to giving you my review on that here coming up in February. Have a great day. Thanks for being here with us.